XRP is coiling up for a fantastic move to the upside. Only problem is we might not yet be finished with the correction to the downside. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my short, medium and long-term views for XRP, keeping you guys up to date on what's going on with the price action of XRP every single day. As I get into the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's jump right down into the charts. We're going to kick things off with the 1 hour time frame here. This is the structure and this is the pattern of which we are currently tracking for XRP. Okay, this is XRP paired up with USDT on the 1 hour Binance chart. Now you know that we've already hit our expected range down here. Okay, this is between the 54.59 and 55.95. However, I think we're going to be dropping down into this range just a little bit more, and this is because we're tracking a WXYXZ pattern to the downside in my opinion. Now we want to hold 54.52, that's the dashed white line coming through the chart here. This is our previous swing low and it is anchoring in our move to the upside for the 58.38 to 59.33 cents. Now this is all micro movements on an hourly time frame. This is just kind of, mediocre volatility that we've seen time and time again. Now our structures here are seeing rejections for the 50 EMA and 50 SMA for XRP. So my expectations are a move to the downside, even though we saw some volatility here over yesterday, right? We saw a bit of a move to the downside. We've hit our expected range by dropping 3.28%. Okay, this came in from the early hours yesterday. So I put a video out, I think it was around 8 a.m. UK, so a little bit early in terms of UTC. Our expectations were this move to the downside. We hit that range. Okay, that is complete as far as I can see, but there's still the potential possibility of tapping into this range one more time before we get that next big surge to the upside and the bigger breakout on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, you can see the stochastic RSI is correcting down, but it's not fully corrected yet. Now it doesn't have to fully correct, but my expectations are that it's more than likely going to, and we're going to be tapping into this range, probably just the higher range. I'm not looking for a swing low break or anything like that. I am looking at this upward trend line here holding for XRP, and then it's going to be where we kind of get the bigger lift to the upside. Okay, so we're going to keep a close eye on it. I'm also going to kind of take this trend line and move it over here so you can kind of see how that potential break looks. Okay, so looking very, very interesting on XRP on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so for us right now, we don't want to necessarily go long just yet unless we can get a closed position above the 50 EMA and maybe even waiting for confirmation or getting a closed position above the 200 hourly EMA. That might be the better play, but ultimately I think at the moment we're likely to see this push to the downside. So that means the long position is going to be somewhere in this low range. I'm going to hypothetically just put this here, sat at 55.78, and we're going to put our stop loss lower than the previous swing low. So hypothetically 55.33. And of course, we're going to take our target, take profit right up there at 55.38 cents. That gives us a risk reward ratio of 5.82, means that we'll earn $5.82 for every $1 of risk. That is excluding any leverage. If I am to be leverage trading, I'm going to be trading on BitGet or Bluefin, linked in the description down below, and I'm going to be able to use something like 5 to 10x leverage and multiply the gains substantially. Okay, obviously it does multiply your losses, so bear that in mind, and if you're new, do some education stuff before you jump into anything leverage based. But ultimately, if I'm to trade on BitGet or Bluefin, I find them both very easy to use and intuitive platforms. If you haven't yet signed up to them, use the links in the description below. You'll earn up to, I think it's $30,000 in bonuses and so forth, depending on where you are around the world. Check it out. More terms and conditions can be found on their website. So you can see we have the ability to see a bit of a drop and then a bit of a surge to the upside. Now this can take some time to play out. As I was talking about yesterday, we could be talking about this playing out over the next kind of, couple of days, maybe into Monday, Tuesday next week. It can take some time. Okay, it's not going to be quick in my opinion, but it's definitely something that I've been monitoring that I think has the potential. Now, of course, all of this can change if we lose that swing low at 54.52. Anything lower than 54.52 cents breaks this structure and we have to reanalyze where the price action is heading next. Okay, so that's your 1 hour time frame. Let's roll this up into a daily time frame. Because on the daily time frame, we are looking for a much higher and much more significant run to the upside. Okay, this is something that's going to take weeks to play out and is not necessarily the kind of trading behavior that many newcomers kind of come or want to kind of take a look at. And this is because trading on a daily time frame or a weekly time frame means you're in positions for a very, very significant period of time. And that makes a lot of people very nervous, uneasy, and it's not for everyone. We call it swing trading, but you can do it with leverage as well. But there are, of course, associated fees with that in terms of how long you have those long positions or short positions open. But for the most part, this is what we're targeting for. We're targeting somewhere between 75 and 85 cents for this bigger surge to the upside, the bigger break to the upside. Again, we can see in here, if we take the trend line approach, that we have this kind of trend line coming in here as our resistances. Okay, we also can see that we do have the ability to take a look at our trend line from the lower side, the support line. Okay, and this is coming up here as well. Okay, so there's a few things to kind of bear in mind, many different ways that we could kind of tackle this. We could bring it in nice and sharp like that. We could use the previous wicks. We could use the bodies of the candles. It doesn't really matter. Lots of different ways to kind of try to analyze your trend lines. It's subjective, which is why I don't tend to rely on trend lines all too much. I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, this is an ascending wedge pattern, but it is actually more triangular rather than kind of a wedge that's forming in an upward direction. A wedge forming in an upward direction would be bearish. This one is known as a continuation pattern, which basically means it's going to continue whatever led into it. So we had the push up, our continuation pattern is going sideways, and the surge is going to be to the upside. Okay, so we know this is a breakout to the upside situation. We're targeting 75 to 85 cents for it, but it's going to take weeks to potentially months to play on out. Now, fundamental news around Ripple and the SEC may change that. We may see a surge to the upside much sooner, but there's a lot of optimism and a lot of hope in the market at the moment when it comes to XRP, and that is why we are seeing structures like we are right here in the charts. Things are looking pretty good and pretty happy with everything that we're kind of tracking for XRP at the moment, but you've got to be patient. Patience is key. Okay, so I said this in a previous video and I'll say it again now. You know, nothing is instantaneous. You've got to take your time, and patience is absolutely key when it comes to trying to trade these larger breaks and swings in the market. Okay, so your daily time frame has this kind of target in mind. Now, if we roll this up into an even bigger time frame, such as the weekly time frame, we can really track the bull market high of 2025 and where we think that is going. So the long-term view hasn't changed. The only way that our long-term view does change is if we see a break of the current bear market low of 28.72 cents. If that loses, then of course we can adjust our targets. But for now, our targets still remain very much 559 to 1125, which splits opinions because some people say that's too short and too low of a target, and other people say that's way too high. I'll be happy with $1. Okay, so lots of different approaches, lots of different strategies, and that's okay because everybody is different. Everyone's going to have different sell range targets for their positions when it comes to XRP. Not one is right or better than the others. Everyone has different time horizons. For example, if you're a young person with lots of years to go in your life, you might be happy to sit on XRP for 10, 20 years. If, however, you're 40, 50, you might be thinking, okay, I need to really kind of be out with it within the next kind of 2 to 3 years. Okay, time horizon and understanding your time horizon is very important when it comes to kind of getting your idea as to kind of how long you want to hold this for. In my opinion, 559 to 1125 is a 2025 bull market peak price range, which means that, you know, people who are short term could potentially be pulling that out. And yes, I'm classifying a few years as short term, whereas long-term could be 2030, 2035, or even 2040, which I actually did a video on not that long ago. Okay, we're talking about Bitcoin's price prediction going up to $13 million by, I think it was 2045, which would actually be a 21-year price prediction. And that price prediction has a reflection on other altcoins. You know, entire market balloons up together, and if everything stays within its same ratio that it is today, XRP would be a phenomenal price as well, well above $100, which seems ludicrous right now, but give it 21 years, it might not be anywhere near as ludicrous as you might believe today. So it's important to understand time is very important in these kind of price bet expectations and predictions. So whether you're looking for $1, looking for $2, looking for $3, maybe you are thinking 5.59 to 11.25 is about right. You can let me know in the comments down below. Where do you sit on that argument? Well, better still, join us in our free Discord server and continue the conversations down there. Now, guys, if you haven't checked out my second channel where I cover more technical analysis, click here, go ahead and check it out. I don't think you'll regret it.